What you need to do right now is walk away from those talking heads on your TV. Turn off that reality garbage that's poisoning your brains. Read in between the lines and look for something deeper, because I'm Arif Ali and it's time to disconnect. Hip hop is on my mind, y'all. Carmen said I used to love her. Nas said hip hop is dead. And Scarface said a fuck hip hop. And throughout the years, as hip hop has grown and changed, I think as fans, all of us have felt similar sentiments to what these three legends have had to say. But for the most part, hip hop has been the soundtrack of my life. It's really helped mold and contribute and create and add to my views and how I see the world and how I contribute to my own lyricism when I do write my own rhymes and verses in hip hop. Looking back, some of the most amazing times I can ever remember, hip hop has been playing in the background. You tell me, as a fan, that your thinking didn't change the first time you heard Fuck the Police by NWA. You tell me your mind wasn't blown the very first time you heard Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, Baby. Or when Biggie first dropped those infamous lines, It was all a dream, I used to read Word Up magazine. I can tell you from my point of view, every single one of these moments was a hair-raising, goosebump inciting moment for me. Just mind-blowing and transformative. Lately, I haven't really felt the same. There's not a lot of hip-hop these days that could take me to that place. And I mean, throughout the years that hip-hop has been growing and changing and evolving, there's always been a huge variety of rap acts in between. You know, you've had your conscious rappers, like your Public Enemy, Paris. You had your dope boy rappers, like Cool G Rap. You had your thugs, like Tupac and B.I.G. You had your D-boys, like T.I., Jay-Z, and so on. But the difference now is the variety of rappers may still be there, but there's a lower tier of rappers that have somehow managed to sneak their way into the game. And I call this the filler shit. The shit that's just made to be put onto radio so that the reinforcement of the stereotype can persist throughout radio and throughout culture and throughout popular society. I'll give you an example. 2 Chainz. Now, to me, anybody that has to introduce themselves every single fucking time they're on a track means that your raps aren't relevant enough for people to remember you, so you have to remind people every single time you rap. Now, the reason I bring up this specific whack-ass example is because he is the ultimate stereotype of every single thing that's wrong in hip-hop. He put out a song called I'm Different. And unfortunately, doing the research for the show, I had to actually sit through 3 minutes and 27 seconds of garbage which forms this track. And when I learned that in this track, 2 Chainz says I'm different 37 times. He also says pull up to the club with my ceiling missing 15 times. Between I'm different and ceiling missing, he uses these 2 phrases, combination of 52 times. 52 times in a song that's only 3 minutes and 27 seconds long. Now, am I just being an asshole, or is this unacceptable? I don't get it. What shithead is listening to this song in his car, yelling out, I'm different, over and over and over and over again, and actually believing that he's different? Are people really that much like sheep? Do we really not have that much of a mind that we can sit there through this kind of garbage and listen for 3 minutes and 27 seconds, have some fucking moron say I'm different, and actually believe it? Who believes this shit? Who believes this guy is different? I mean, I remember back in the day when, actually I shouldn't say back in the day because it ages me, but I remember at times looking for my favorite artist's music, be it online, be it at HMV buying their CD, be it searching for videos, and before I hit play, I was excited. I had an expectation. I had something to look forward to, like, oh yeah, this is going to be the shit. Like the first time you unwrap Jay-Z's Black album. The first time you take it out of the CD player and put it in your CD player. CD player, yeah, I did say CD player. You stick it in your CD player and you press play and you don't skip a track for the entire album. Front to back, you're just mesmerized. You're so caught up in the story, so caught up in the themes and the ideas and the feeling that it really does make you a part of the experience. You really do become involved, so engrossed in the album that you even forget what you're doing. You forget where you are. You forget where you're going. And when the lyrics get stuck in your head, it's not because of the repetitive moronic nature of it. It's because you want to repeat those lyrics. When you first heard the Blueprint and you heard Jay-Z go, "A midget standing on a giant's shoulders can see much further than the giant, but I got the whole rap world on the shoulder they trying to see further than I am." That's wild. That is some serious top tier lyricism. I'm sorry, I was blown away. I'm still blown away to this day when I hear that. But like I said, filler shit has worked its way through the foundation of hip hop and created cracks. I'll give you another example. Big Sean. Now, some of y'all might like Big Sean. That's cool. You can like him. But now tell me something. He had a song that he put out where the whole hook is ass, 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 ass. Stop. Now let that motherfucker hammer time? What does that even mean? Am I missing the point? Am I disconnected? I don't think I am. I mean, I write some pretty ill shit myself. So to hear an MC or whatever you want to call it create a song where the entire hook just says ass? What are we giving ourselves credit for as people being fans of this stuff? I don't really think that the listener is actually paying attention to what they're hearing. Because if they did, I would think they would expect more from the people that we are making into multi-millionaires and superstars. Now, we're not just making them superstars, we are making them household names, celebrities, and potentially role models for future generations. My kids don't look up to these guys. My kids don't look up to a Big Sean, a Rick Ross, a 2 Chainz. They look up to us as parents because we provide them that foundation to look up to. If your kids are looking up to rappers like this, you fucked up. You did something wrong as a parent. And you can blame whatever you want. You can blame TV, you can blame the media, you can blame whoever the fuck you want. But at the end of the day, those are your seeds. And you're the only person to blame. Here's another example of today's version of lyricism. Jay-Z dropped the Magna Carta album, and Rick Ross had featured on a song called Fuck Me, You Know I Got It. Now, his first 2 lines on this track are, "I just landed in Europe, N-word. Shopping bags, I'm a tourist, N-word." He then goes on to use the N-word as the rhyming word for the next 6 lines. And people eat this shit up. I don't understand. Don't we need to have higher expectations for the people that we're making superstars and celebrities? When you used to listen to Tupac and you would support his album, support his movies, support who he is as a personality, you weren't supporting gang life. You weren't supporting gang culture. You weren't supporting someone that was going to go and shoot up a block or rape a girl or bully somebody. That wasn't what you were supporting. You were supporting a revolutionary. You were supporting a poet. You were supporting somebody that was looking to do better for his community. I can't remember the last time on current hip-hop that I've heard someone wanting to do better for their community. Now, there are a handful, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all this new hip-hop is bad. There are some that I think is amazing. Lupe Fiasco is incredible. J. Cole is a beast. Wale, these guys are the future of hip-hop. They're going to be the ones that are carrying hip-hop into the future. And I love it. They're doing great things. The problem is that what media perpetuates on TV for you to see is the lowest common denominator. The worst of the worst. If I'm wrong, how the fuck is Rick Ross worth $25 million right now? How did that even happen? How do rappers like Meek Mills and A$AP Rocky and A$AP Ferg get put on and be called the future voices of hip-hop? How does this happen? If you haven't been through a battle, don't call yourself an MC. If you haven't come up through the ranks as a battle MC, you're not an MC. You might be a rapper, you might spit game, you might talk smack, but you're not an MC. That title is reserved. Reserved for the best. Reserved for those that put in the work. Reserved for those that put paper to pen and build their pen game. If that ain't you, you're not an MC. There's many of them out there. Because what we do when we create superstars out of these fools, what we do is we start to create a vision of hip-hop that spreads across the world. And hip-hop is not a communal thing anymore. It's not just in New York. It's not just in LA. It's not just in the South. It's global. And when I say global, I mean global. We hear rappers all the time saying they go to Europe. They're performing in front of people that have never spoken English in their life, and yet they know every single word on the album. That's power. Because music transcends all. And obviously hip-hop is carrying the torch. Because coast to coast, city to city, across the world, I can talk to family members that I have in Fiji, and they can relate to rappers that are current right now. So what does that say about us? What does that say about people in general, that we're able to make these goons into superstars? And I don't use the word goons lightly. Man, Rick Ross used to be a corrections officer, and now he perpetuates a lifestyle based on somebody else's life, and we feed into it, and people buy the shit, and people support the shit. People give him the opportunity to drive a Maybach and own a mansion. What the fuck for? When artists like J. Cole and Lupe and Wale grind and put out music from the heart and from their soul, trying to build up their reputations as MCs, trying to make sure that their careers are solid over a period of years, and they're not the superstars? I remember at Barack Obama's inauguration, Lupe Fiasco was asked to do a performance, and he performed one of his songs. In the song, he says, "God, the strip was getting bomb. Obama didn't say shit. And that's why I ain't vote for him. Next one, neither. I'm a part of the problem. My problem is I'm peaceful." He went on to repeat this line over and over and over again. This is at the after party, if you want to call it that, for the inauguration. And the funny thing is, he got no press. No news outlets talked about it. No media talked about it. No websites talked about it. It was as if it happened and it was made to disappear. Isn't that relevant? Isn't it relevant that a rapper chooses to put his career and his popularity on the line to defend what he believes is true, and he gets no press? How does that make any sense? Where's the people power? Where's the support? Hip-hop was built on people power. Hip-hop was built on the underground, making it through, making it big, kicking the doors down, and changing things. And like I said before, I'm not labeling all hip-hop as bad. There's always been shitty hip-hop. But the level of dumbed down that we face now is a big problem. And I'll tell you why it's a big problem. Because it permeates throughout community, and it creates a culture where the younger generation looks up to these fools as something that they want to be. The problem is, they won't be it. These fools got lucky. They got really lucky that somebody was willing to take a chance on them and put them on. It wasn't by some stroke of hard work. It wasn't any of that. It was through a friend of a friend of a friend, through some kind of affiliation that they got put on. And we're giving these goofs the pedestal to preach to our preteens, our teens, and our young adults. Do you want your kid wanting to be a drug dealer to make ends? Is that what you want? Do you want your son wanting to be the guy that sleeps with 50 women? Is that what you want for your kids? Do you want your son to be, yo, I'm a D-boy, I'm a D-boy? Really, is that what you want for your kids? If that's what you want for your kids, as a parent, you fucked up. And like I said, you can listen to whatever you want to. It doesn't make you a bad person. When I grew up, I listened to NWA. I was 13 years old when I heard NWA. And not all of the material was socially relevant. They had songs like Find 'Em, Fuck 'Em, and Flee. They had songs like Automobile, where he said stuff like, "You don't have to front on me, bitch." I mean, it wasn't all on the up and up. The lyrics weren't all overwhelming and enlightening. But the creation of NWA came out of the struggle. They had a very precise and distinct message, and that was to defend the rights of those people that looked like them and acted like them. That's gone. That's dead. The interest has now become selfish. These new generation of D-boys, trap rappers, whatever you want to call them, they're not about their communities. They're about upping their own net worth, their own wealth, building up their own stature. They're not about giving back to the community. You don't hear that shit. You don't hear these dudes going to the hood. You don't hear them giving things out to the hood. You don't hear them building up the communities. That stuff doesn't happen. I don't remember the last time I've heard one of these whack-ass rappers on TV talking about injustices or mentioning Trayvon Martin's case or Jordan Davis's case or how Barack Obama's not doing his job. None of these fools talk about it. Why? Because they don't give a fuck. All they want is for you to go out and buy their crap, support their crap, and make them millionaires. Now you might say, oh, this is not even relevant. It's not even a big deal. It's always going to be like this. You know who makes it like this? The buying public makes it like this. Consumers make it like this. The people that are sitting at home, downloading this garbage, giving them YouTube hits or Vivo hits or whatever you hit to build up their subscribership, you are the ones that are making these whack-ass rappers into superstars. And here's where the problem lies. We have an epidemic right now throughout North America where single mothers are becoming the majority of family households. Think about that for a second. Single mothers are outnumbering family households that have two parents. Why do you think that is? It's not because of a shortage of men, because women keep getting pregnant. It's not that all the men have gone to war and these women have lost their husbands. That's not the case. It's not a case of women chasing away their men because they hate them. If that was the case, then the rate of pregnancies would slow. But that's not happening. The rate of pregnancies are the same, but the households that have two parents are not the same. That decreases every single year. What that tells me is dads are leaving. Dads are walking away. Dads are jumping ship, going to greener pastures. Dads are not fulfilling their responsibilities as fathers to their children. And hip-hop's not to blame, but it's contributing. And the reason I say that is because when you listen to some of the content of shit that's out there, Rick Ross can say some shit like he wants to put Molly in a girl's drink and she don't even know it. You know, that creates a really dangerous example of what's good. So we have this trend of single mothers that are increasing, two-parent households decreasing. Lyrical content in hip-hop promotes the kind of behavior and values that create this kind of scenario. Now, I know people are going to hate on this, and I don't really give a fuck. If this is not partially to blame, what do you think is? It's not unemployment. There's always been unemployment. It's not drug use. There's always been drug use. Alcohol abuse has always been around. But this new epidemic of single mothers and no fathers, this is the most dangerous precedent being created through all this mess. Because when these young boys, young girls grow up in a single parent household, they don't have a father to look at. And more than likely, the mothers are either on welfare or they're working 2, 3, 4 jobs trying to make it, or they're going to school and the kids are being left with grandparents or relatives or somebody that can raise them while the single moms go out there and bust their ass. Now, these kids, they lack leadership from the get-go because they don't have that strong male figure in the home telling them what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's bad, and how to be a man. You can say that, we all have a moral compass to abide by, and we should already know what's good and what's bad. But if that was the case, there'd be no crime. If that was the case, then we wouldn't have anybody in jail. That's not the case. People need direction. Like anything else, especially the youth, they need direction. They need someone to look at, someone that they can identify with and say, that's what I want to be like. Now, a lot of these single mother homes are in poverty. Statistically, it's true. You don't have to agree with it, but this is what the stats say. That homes where there's only one parent, 8 out of 10 times it's the mother, these families are mired in poverty. How can they not be? How can they be expected to make a comfortable living without education? So these kids come up without direction and they look at a lifestyle that they want. They look at a situation on TV that they like. They see their favorite rappers balling it up, riding in Maybachs, rocking $150,000 worth of jewelry in a music video, not realizing that most of that jewelry is going to go back to the jeweler after the video is done, not knowing that the vehicle that they're rolling around in is a rental car, or that the mansion that they're living in is just for the video shoot, or that the video hoes that are dancing around them are not their girls, that they're just actors that get paid and leave. These young kids don't realize that. So for the boys looking up, all they see is, yo, I want that life. And when they listen to the garbage that comes out of these rappers' mouths, talking about flipping keys and flipping bricks and fuck a bitch and do this and do that and pop a gat and walk around with a duffel bag, those ideas get planted into impressionable minds. Those impressionable minds don't realize that the things that they're hearing, the things that are being said, 85% of the time are just storytelling, are just made up, are just for the value of entertainment, because they don't have that father figure saying, yo, don't look at that fool. That's not what you should be looking at. They don't have that. So that's their new father figure. That's their mentor. In order to attain that kind of lifestyle, where do they end up? They end up in the streets. The same streets that these rappers promote but have never been to. These kids have to live it. These kids have to see it every single day. So they go and they grind and they end up in jail. It's like, how did that happen? Didn't happen to Rick Ross. Didn't happen to T.I. Didn't happen to 2 Chainz. Why'd it happen to me? Because it didn't happen to them to begin with. They're not drug dealers. They're rappers slash actors. They're not gangsters. They're fucking fake ass thugs. And yet the idea is so ingrained into hood culture that kids growing up in the hood, that's all they see. That's all they want to be. I remember at one time when rappers would start beef, most of the time it would just be lyrical. They would come, spit their shit. The next rapper would spit theirs. There'd be a little retaliation back and forth, spitting rhymes, and it'd be good. That doesn't happen anymore. I feel as if that component of hip-hop is necessary to further the art form. We need competitive rivalries. We need that fire in a rapper's belly. Rappers need to feel, yo, I need to come out and get this. I want to be the best. That doesn't happen anymore. There was this huge ruckus raised over Kendrick Lamar's verse in Control because he called out a few rappers. But he didn't really call anybody out. He threw out a few names. He just said, let's make it competitive. He didn't really diss anybody. And the whole world blew up. Like, oh my God, Kendrick Lamar calls everybody out, man. You know who he didn't call out? He didn't call out Eminem. He didn't call out Jay-Z. He didn't call out Kanye. He didn't call out Nas. He didn't call out rappers that would obliterate him. He left those rappers' names out of his mouth for a reason. Because he knows he can't hang. Can you imagine if Kendrick Lamar threw Eminem's name on that track? What would happen? He would have ended his career with a single verse. But these rappers don't have that. They don't have what it takes. They don't have that inside them to be better, to be a greater lyricist. You know, it's very rare in hip-hop that you see MCs evolve and change. I gotta give it up to somebody like T.I. When I first heard him, I didn't really care for him too much, but over the years, he's become an incredible rapper. His rhyme schemes have changed, his bars have changed, he's elevated his game. He's become one of the better rappers in the game now. But a lot of these other fools find a formula for success and they ride that shit. They ride it to the death. You know, this whole culture that hip-hop has created about needing to carry around a gun. I need a gun, I gotta bust gas. What the fuck is that? That's not a man to me. If you have to carry a gun to make yourself feel strong, you're a bitch, yo. That doesn't make you a man. There's nothing manly about carrying a gun. There's something manly about someone that can break somebody off with his fists. That's manly to me. That's a man that can hold his own. You know, when I grew up, my role model was Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X. You know, these were my role models. Real men that did things for their communities. Real men that went out there and changed the way people think about black people, about brown people, about Muslims, about people that are in hip hop. They changed thought. KRS-One, you know, these were my role models. What do kids have now as a role model? Look around right now. Look around in the media. Look at magazine covers. Look around at society in general. Who do your kids have as a role model besides their parents? If you can't say that you're number one role model to your kids, you're doing something wrong. Rick Ross is your kid's role model. Meek Mills is your kid's role model. If an entertainer is your kid's role model, you fucked up. You gotta make a change. And it all starts in the home. It is a man's job, your responsibility as a man. If you contributed to creating a child, it is your job to help raise that child. It is your job to help turn that child into a productive member of society. If you create a child and you walk away from it, you're not a man. The title of man needs to be earned. And I think we throw it around way too loosely these days. Just because you can have a child doesn't make you a man. Being a man means raising that child, making him into a man. If you let rappers be what your kid looks at as a role model for a man, you're not a man. And if you're that kind of person that will walk away from his children and let them be raised by a mother by herself because you're out there in the streets trying to get yours, you ain't shit. You're never gonna be shit. And this topic makes me really angry. You know, I have 2 kids of my own and I can never imagine leaving them for anything. I don't give a fuck how shitty my situation was. I can never walk away from seeds that I helped create and bring into this world. That's just shameful. But it almost seems like as men, a lot of men don't really have what it takes. We need more. We need better men. We need more responsible men to help future generations be better. We've gone through a period of almost being emasculated by society. You know, women's income have increased. Women in a lot of households are the main breadwinners. That doesn't change the role of a man. That doesn't change the role of a man in society, in the streets, in your church, in your community. That doesn't change who you are. You, as a man, need to take responsibility for your actions and not let your mistakes dictate the future of your children. Because if it does, what we're going to end up with is a society of monsters. A society of beasts that don't know right from wrong, and all they want to do is get theirs. So what we need to do is hold ourselves to a higher standard. If we don't hold ourselves to our own personal higher standards, how can we expect entertainers to do any better? Entertainers reflect the times that we live in, and they're just giving us what we are paying for, what we expect. If we continue to buy this garbage, we're no better than them. Because we're basically just saying, give me your worst and I will take it. And there's plenty more worse out there. I mean, look at guys like Future. I don't know what the hell language he's speaking, whether he's coming or going. I don't know if you've heard any of his music, but it sounds like he's got a dick in his throat and he can't get it out. Like, I don't want to give you the wrong impression. What the hell is this garbage? You got Kirkle Bangs. I don't know where the hell this guy comes from, how he even gets a record deal, but he got one. And you got fools like Gucci Mane that tattoo a freaking ice cream cone on the side of their face. Really? Is hip-hop going through depression or like psychosis or something? Because this can't be real. I mean, there's a lot of idiots that get a lot of stupid tattoos, but an ice cream cone in your face? Like, The Game's a good rapper, but even he got a butterfly in his face before he fixed it. Like, I don't know what it is about artists these days, but they don't seem like they're all there. And I mean, there's obviously a handful of phenomenal artists that always seem to get better, that always seem to put out high quality product. You know, you got your Kanye's, your Jay-Z's, your Eminem's, your Snoop Dogg's, guys like Tech Nine that have been doing it forever and still do it well. You know, these guys always put out quality music, and they always will, because they give a shit. They care about their fans, and their fans stay with them. All these other flash in the pans, the reason they're able to be successful is because of stupid consumers. So consumers need to hold themselves to a higher level of accountability in their own personal lives before they can expect entertainers, or before we can expect entertainers to do the same. Hip-hop will never die. I don't think it's an art form that can ever die or expire or not be relevant anymore, because it always reflects the times that it's in. But what can happen is the infestation of garbage. And that is the place where we're at right now, and that's got to change. Which means guys like Lupe need more shine. Guys like Talib Kweli that put out incredible material need more shine. Guys like Mos Def, Andre 3000, Big Boy put out 2 phenomenal albums back to back, gets no shine. These guys need the love. These guys need the support. Where are the fans? Where are the real fans that are supposed to be supporting real hip hop? They're not here. Where are they at? I mean, they're obviously not supporting these guys, so who are they supporting? I hope they're not supporting the crap that's out there. But if you are, I'm calling you out. It's time for y'all to man up. It's time for y'all to look at yourselves in the mirror and say, yo, I could call myself a man, but I can't take care of my kids. I can't pay my bills. I can't buy a house. I can't get a job. You call yourself a man? Nah, man, you ain't shit. If majority of the population can look at the Maury show as a representative of black culture these days, that's a damn shame. And don't get mad at me for saying it. Be mad that it can actually happen this way. The state of man is in decline. And if y'all don't pick it up, you will be extinct. Actually, you know what? Don't pick it up. I hope y'all motherfuckers be extinct. Because we don't need men like you. We need men that work. We need men that build and grow communities and grow their families and do right by their families. I know I get a little off topic. I get heated about things like this, but I can't help myself. What I'm really trying to do is have you have this conversation in your homes. Have this conversation amongst your friends. If you know people that represent the things that I've talked about today, it is your responsibility to speak to them about it. And if you don't, you're just a part of the problem. We're living through the age of gustos, y'all. MC Gustos. Only my real hip-hop fans will know where that's coming from. Some CB4 type-ish. Now, for all you rappers out there that got called out today, don't be mad. If you happen to hear this from some weird way, this ends up in your lap, and you think that, you know, who the fuck is this guy? I'm gonna take aim. I'm gonna go at this dude. Do it. Bring it. I'm a man first and an MC second, like my man Dagamuffin said. So if y'all thinking you're gonna step to the ALITE to try and get some retribution, to try and recoup whatever pride you may have lost, I'm gonna make this very clear for you guys. The aim is set, ready, no safety, no maybes, no ands, ifs, buts, no second guess. I guarantee there'll be bloodshed, pavement stained red from all the careers killed off of words I've said. This ain't a battle or a war, I call it target practice. I'm coming for them all, fucking phony whack rap shit. So much garbage, hip-hop's becoming a landfill. No growth left, almost stuck at a standstill. Gridlock so weak, I'll break them down like jib rock. Shit's fluffier than pop, how you call it hip-hop? So remember, the next time you open your mouth and spit some garbage, remember there's real spitters out there like me that are hungry and fiending to eat whack-ass rappers like y'all. Peace. 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 Peace.